now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show brings you famous celebrities and amazing people from all over the world. Listen online at themikewagnershow.com and on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And watch the interview on YouTube. So sit back and relax and enjoy the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking a budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Evan Fine of the Senior Reserve Group. When you start thinking about retirement, who are you going to call about Medicare? Why call the best? Evan Fine of Senior Reserve Group, specializing in Medicare, health, and long-term care insurance. Evan can be reached at 1-800-650-9357. That's 1-800-650-9357, or email to evanfine@seniorreservegroup.com. Evan is licensed in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Delaware, South Carolina, and Florida. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also, check our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen to episodes on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and also watch the interview on YouTube as well. We're here with a lovely lady from San Diego who began performing at 3 years old doing some Disney. She also played some Disney characters, including Beauty and the Beast, and she attended Gary Spatz's The Playground. And she's been in many short films, features, TV series, the web, including Haze, also Skitz on 360 TV. But she's got a couple of special more projects we're going to talk about. But first, coming all the way to San Diego, heading out to the East Coast, here she is, coast to coast, the next up-and-coming star, Laura Stetman. Laura, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much, Mike. It's great to be here.
Oh, you're welcome. You began performing at 3 years old. You did some Disney characters. You were singing Beauty and the Beast. You were just jumping up and down. You later attended Gary Spatz's The Playground School. You starred in many short films, features, TV series, Hazed, and Skitz on 360 TV. And you also got some upcoming as well, too, like The Thing We Lose and Silence is Golden. And we also got more as well, too. But first, before we get into all that, tell us how you got started.
Honestly, I've just been performing ever since I was little. My parents told me I have been singing in my car seat even before I could talk.
That was easy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So I guess you could say I've always just loved playing, performing, pretending. Ever since I was little, I love that creative aspect of it. Even during school, I think just early on, I felt really much like I loved playing characters because I would dress up completely different each day, like in middle school. Mm-hmm. Like one day I'd show up being like a goth girl with like a choker, go-go boots, black dark makeup, kind of that whole getup. And then the next day I would be like, dressed like I'm going to the beach. So, it just always kept people guessing. They didn't really know what kind of like girl I was because I constantly dressed just differently, and I enjoyed it. I had so much fun.
It sounds like it too. So it's like one day you could dress like a jock, one day you could dress up as a freak, and one day you could dress up as a nerd, and one day you could dress up like whoever or something. You seem to enjoy that freedom without people just saying anything negative. Sounds like you had a lot of freedom in school.
Actually, I just kind of like marched to the beat of my own drum, so to speak. I just I didn't really have a clique in school. I don't think I would have ever really fit into a certain clique. So I kind of was the girl that just said hi to everybody. And I think that has a lot to do with just I never dressed one way. I never was just one way, other than just being kind to people. But, it's weird because I was very, very shy. And then you would cast me in a play and I'd completely come alive and they'd be like, oh, wait, who is she? Oh, she's in our class?
Oh, that's
yeah.
That's amazing. And how many high school plays have you been in? And when you've auditioned, what's been the success rate? It sounds like you've been in a lot of high school plays and productions.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would say, let's see, in middle school, I was in Annie, and I was one of the orphans. Everybody wanted me to play Annie, but I was far too shy to even try out for that.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah. But then after that, I did The Sound of Music in high school. And I was pretty much just like ensemble, but the thing that really got people's attention was when we did what's it called? That Shakespeare one. I am blanking on it right now.
The only thing I can think of is probably Romeo and Juliet, and I think there's also Hamlet, and I think there's probably a couple others. Let me look it up on the computer as well, too. And if you're ever stuck, by the way, you can just pull out your tablet or go to your laptop or something, or pull out your smartphone. You can also look up some of the things too. It's like I do encourage people to look up as well.
There we go.
Oh, I was just gonna look that up. Oh, you beat me to it.
I was like, if I sit here long enough, I'm gonna figure it out. Hold on. So yeah, Taming of the Shrew, and I played Bianca, which was very different too, because seeing as Bianca is like the girl that all the guys want, very popular, and everything, versus her sister Kat, who's kind of like a wallflower. It was like the first role that I got to play where, I really played it up, because I was like, all right, I get to essentially not be me at all and have fun doing it. So yeah, that was in junior year of high school. So that was like my first legit play. And then shortly after, I started talking to my parents about being represented by an agency, and we lived in Steamboat Springs at the time, so it was a small town. That wasn't really a thing that we could do up there, but I begged them, really, really wanted it. So, but essentially they said no. They wanted me to have like a normal, high school experience, normal growing up experience. So I didn't really get into that until I graduated high school, and then that's when I got into Gary Spatz Playground, and that is an amazing story in itself. So it was right after that I got into film, and I've been doing film ever since.
I love to hear the story about Gary Spatz School. You can just tell me about the story, how you got involved, and the big story leading up to it.
Okay, awesome. So I had just moved from Steamboat to California, and I was attending junior college with my best friend, who I've known since kindergarten. And so when I was watching Sweet Life of Zach and Cody one day, I just had this thought. I was like, I could do this. I really could do this. I could be on TV. I could play these characters. And so I paused the TV show, and I immediately went online. And at first I searched for, I think it was like Dylan Sprouse and Cole Sprouse, and all about them and the schools that they went to. And so I found out Gary Spatz The Playground. So when I clicked on it and I read about it, I found out that like Justin Timberlake went there, Britney Spears went there. And there were a few other people too that have been there. Some people from Secret Life of the American Teenager. And so just mainly a bunch of like child Disney and Nickelodeon stars. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, I have to like figure out about this school. So I looked up, I saw that it was on 1801 Avenue of the Stars, and I was like, okay, I've got to do this. I'm going to call them up. And it was hilarious because I didn't tell my mom about it. I didn't tell my sister about it. I didn't tell anybody about it because no one realized I loved acting this much. I was going to take it seriously. So I called, and I remember they answered, and they're like, hello. And I was like, hi, is this Gary Spatz The Playground? They're like, yes, this is. Who's calling? And I was like, well, my name is Laura Stetman, and I want to audition for your school. And there was just pause on the phone. There was like, and then they're like, I'm sorry, who are you?
I thought there was crickets chirping for just a minute, or jaw drops.
I literally was like, probably like not the person to call, and so I just remembered that, and and I was like, I want to audition for your school. I was like, I'm a small town girl from Steamboat Springs, Colorado, and I love acting. I want to audition for your school, and I just kept like doing that, and they're like, hold on a second. So they put me on hold. And I think they probably were like talking and being like, who is this girl? Like, she's so like forceful. I've never heard of her before, everything. They're like, he goes, okay, Laura, you got a monologue? And I go, well, yeah, I do. And he goes, great. Be here tomorrow, 1 p.m. I was like, all right. So I got there. And I know, it's amazing. So I got there. And then, at the time, I had never film audition before, so this is like a story in itself. I showed up, they're like, okay, great, so go ahead and stand here on the tee and you're gonna go ahead and slate. And I was like, I raised my hand and I'm like, what's a slate? And I'm like, and they're like, really? Okay. They're like, you're just gonna say your name and your height and who you're reading for. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So I'm already nervous, and then as soon as they start rolling, I just boom, get into it. And I was doing a monologue that was actually very, very awkward. It's about this clingy girl who calls, and basically she's really in love with the guy that she was with before. And he's not interested in her at all. So she leaves this like embarrassingly long like voice message. And
oh my gosh!
It was perfect for me. So I just picked that, and then I did it. I did it once, and then they stopped me, and they just stared, and I was just quiet because I'm waiting for them to say anything, and they're like, "Huh, that was pretty good." And then he like looked at me, he goes, can you hold on for a second? And I was like, sure. So he goes and he leaves the room, and then it's just me and my boyfriend hanging out in there. He's sitting in one of the seats, and I'm just looking at him, and he's looking at me like, what just happened? And then the guy comes back in, and he brings this woman, and she goes, hi, Laura. All right, so I understand that you're reading this monologue and that you're pretty good. I just want to see what you got. So I'm going to sit here and I want you to do it again. And I was like, okay. So I did it again. And then she goes, great. And she stands up and she gets in front of me and she's like, all right, do you know what subtext is? And I was like, no, not really. And she's like, okay, it's the thing that you're thinking while you're saying something. Like you say something, but then you're always thinking, your mind is always going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can direct you, okay? So I'm going to stand in front of you. You continue saying your monologue, but I'm going to say your subtext out loud. I just want to see if that changes your read or, kind of what goes with that, all right? So action. And it was really interesting because she's talking like my thoughts as I'm saying the monologue. So that was like something I've never done before. And then she said it was really great. She was happy about it, and then she asked me to do it one more time. So I did it one more time without her saying the subtext. I just was thinking my own thoughts in my head. And then at the end of the monologue she goes, okay, great. Can you excuse us for a second? And I was like, sure. So they all leave the room. Once again, it's me and my boyfriend, and then I start stepping off the tee mark, and I go to my boyfriend, and I'm just like, can you hold me, please? Because I don't know what's gonna happen right now. Like,
Jeopardy theme music.
I know, right? So they come in, and I think it was like probably like maybe 3 minutes later. Gary Spatz walks in this time. So it's Gary Spatz. It's the woman who I would learn later is going to be my acting teacher, Gayla Goel. And then Farron Fonte, the guy who asked me to do the monologue in the first place. And they're like, so you got talent. And we would really love you to be at our school. We actually think that you're ready for the advanced class. And
awesome.
You can start tonight. And I was like, oh my God. Like, crazy. So my jaw dropped. I didn't start that night because I literally was just like whoa. I can't even believe it. But yeah, I started the very next week on Thursdays, And then